Most people pick their trade the wrong way. They Google highest paying blue collar jobs, find a list, pick the one with the biggest number, and commit 4 years of their life to a career they've never actually even seen up close.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they're burnt out, miserable, or starting over at 30 or 40.
Here we go again.
If you've clicked on this video, you either have no idea which trade to pick or you're worried you picked the wrong trade. Either way, I'm going to give you the exact framework I'd use if I had to start over today, knowing everything I know after 30 years in the blue collar work as a union carpenter, project manager, and UAW inspector. We're not doing the top 10 highest paying trades list. You can find that anywhere on YouTube. What you can't find is someone who's worked alongside electricians, HVAC techs, plumbers, millwrights, ironworkers, welders, and traveling linemen, telling you exactly how he'd think about this decision if he were starting from scratch with zero experience and zero connections. That's me, 30 plus years, multiple roles, multiple levels of the blue collar wealth ladder, and I've seen what happens when guys pick the right trade, and I've seen what happens when they pick the wrong one. The difference isn't the trade, it's how you choose it. And question number 4 in my framework is the one that most people never think to ask, but it's the one that determines whether you're still in the trade at 50 or 60, or whether your body forced you out at 40. I'll get to that later. But before I give you my framework, let me tell you the mistake that ruins more trade careers than anything else. You see, people pick a trade based on one number, the salary. They see electricians making $80,000 or HVAC techs making $90,000, and according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, these figures are accurate in many markets. But that's the whole decision. But salary is only one variable. It's not even the most important one. The most important variable is whether you can actually see yourself doing this work every day for 10, 20, or even 30 years. Because a trade that pays $90,000 but destroys your knees by 45 is not a $90,000 career. It's a $90,000 career for 15 years followed by a disability claim. A trade that pays $70,000 but lets you work until 60 with your body intact, build a business, and retire on your terms, that's real money. The twist that flips the entire script is the highest paying trade is not always the best trade for you. The best trade is the one that pays well and fits your body, brain, and personality, and your long-term plan. Alright, so here's my framework. It's 5 questions. If I were starting over today at 18 or 25 with zero experience, this is exactly how I'd think about it. Question number 1, what kind of work energizes you versus drains you? This isn't about what's easy. Nothing in the trades is easy. This is about what kind of work you can do all day and still feel good at the end of the shift. Some guys love troubleshooting, figuring out why something isn't working and solving puzzles. That's electrical work. That's HVAC diagnostics. That's elevator repair. Some guys, they love building, starting with nothing and creating something you can see and touch. That's carpentry. That's ironwork. That's masonry. Some guys, they love precision, getting things aligned of a thousandth of an inch, making machines run perfectly. That's millwright work. That's CNC machining. That's instrumentation. And some guys love being on the move. Different job sites, different cities, different challenges every week. That's pipeline welding. That's commercial HVAC. That's traveling lineman work through the IBEW. None of these are better or worse. They're just different. And the guys who match their personality to their trade are the ones who last 30 years without burning the hell out. When I got into carpentry, it wasn't because I researched the salary. It was because I like building things. I like seeing something go from a blueprint to a finished structure. That's what kept me going through the hard days. If I hadn't liked the work itself, no paycheck would have kept me in it for 10 or 12 years. Question number 2, where do you want to be in 10 years? Not just making good money, specifically, do you want to own your own business? Then you need a trade with a low barrier to entry for business ownership. HVAC, plumbing, and electrical are the easiest to start a company in. A van, a license, a phone, and your reputation. $5,000 to $11,000 to start. Do you want to be a leader running a big project? Then you need a trade where the path to foreman, superintendent, or project manager is clear. Carpentry, general construction, and electrical are good ones. Do you want to specialize as the highest paid expert in a niche? Then you need a trade with premium specializations. We're talking industrial controls, PLC programming, building automation, EV charger installation, underwater welding, or wind turbine technician work, which according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics is the fastest growing trade occupation right now. How about stability? Do you want stability and predictability? Union trades with pension plans and structured wage scales? IBEW for electricians, UA for plumbers and pipe fitters, UAW for auto workers, United Brotherhood of Carpenters for carpenters and millwrights, or Smart Union for sheet metal workers. Each of these paths looks completely different. And if you don't ask this question before you commit, you might end up in a trade that's great for one path but terrible for the one you actually want. The real reality, guys, is this: your trade isn't just a job, it's the vehicle that takes you somewhere. If you don't know the destination, you can't evaluate the vehicle. Pick the destination first, then pick the trade that gets you there the fastest. Question number 3, what's actually hiring where you live? The internet will tell you the journeyman linemen make $140,000, and they do in certain markets with overtime and storm work, working through the IBEW locals. But if you live in an area with no utility companies hiring apprentices, that number is useless to you. Before you commit to any trade, look at what's actually available within driving distance. Are there union halls accepting applications? Are there apprenticeship programs with open enrollment? Are there contractors hiring helpers? Check your local IBEW, UA, Carpenters Union, and check community colleges with trade programs. Check the NCCER, that's the National Center for Construction Education and Research, career starter platform, and it's free, and it connects you with training and employers right in your area. You see, the best trade in the world is worthless if there's no path to enter it where you live. I've talked to guys who spent a year trying to get into a specific trade and couldn't find a single apprenticeship within 100 miles, while another trade in their town was begging for workers. Don't fall in love with a trade you can't access. Fall in love with the opportunity that's actually in front of you. And this, my friends, is exactly why doing your research before you commit is the smartest move you can make. Because the right career path saves you years of trial and error, and the wrong one can cost you years you can't ever get back. That's what Course Careers is built for, helping people break into high-paying careers without a degree, without debt, and without guessing. The link is in the description. Check out their free intro courses. I think you'll love them. Now, question 4 and 5. And question 4 is the one I warned you about in the hook. This is the one that determines whether you're still working at 50 years old or not. Question 4, can your body do this work at 50, at 55, at 60? Every trade has a physical cost, but they're not all equal. Roofing in July will destroy your knees and your back faster than almost any other trade. Concrete work grinds your joints down year after year. Iron work at height takes a toll on your body that compounds over decades. That doesn't mean these trades are bad, it means you need a plan for the physical reality. The guys who last 30 years in physical demanding trades are the ones who plan their exit from the physical work early. They move into supervision, estimating, inspection, training, or ownership before their body makes the decision for them. On the other hand of the spectrum, trades like electrical, HVAC controls, elevator repair, and instrumentation are less physically punishing over time. You're still on your feet, you're still working with your hands, but you're not carrying 80-pound bundles up ladders every day for 25 years. Hey guys, it's JV. Let me pause the video real quick. If you want a faster way into real careers that pay, check out Course Careers. They train people for in-demand jobs in tech, business, and all sorts of construction trades without wasting years in college. They're rated almost 5 stars with thousands of real reviews you can check out. You earn a certificate of completion, and they help you prepare for real job placement. And if you use my link, you get $50 off instantly. So if you're serious about changing your income path, the link is below. If longevity matters to you, and it should, factor in the physical toll before you commit. A career that pays $80,000 but gives you 30 healthy working years is worth more than a career that pays $100,000 but gives you 15 years and a bad back. I've watched guys who were the toughest workers on the job site at 30 end up barely able to move at 50 because they never thought about this. Toughness is not a retirement plan. Strategy is. Ask yourself this question now so your body doesn't answer it for you later. Question number 5. Can you test it before you commit? Before you sign up for a 4-year apprenticeship, get your hands on the actual work. Apply as a helper or laborer for a contractor in the trade you're considering. You'll make $15 to $18 an hour, but you'll learn in 1 month what no YouTube video can ever teach you and what the work actually feels like, what the day actually looks like, and what the culture of that trade actually is like. You'll talk to guys who've been in the trade for 10 and 20 years. Don't ask them how much they make, ask them what they'd do differently. Ask them what they wish someone would have told them before they even started, and ask them if they choose the same trade again. You can also visit union halls and ask about pre-apprenticeship programs. Community colleges with trade programs often let you audit a class or attend an open house. The NCCER Career Starter Platform, it connects you with training and employers, and the Lowe's Foundation Gable Grants Program has funded tuition fee training at 65 community colleges and nonprofits nationwide. The resources are out there, you just need to use them before you commit, not after. Everything you heard about just pick one and go is actually backwards. The guys who advanced fastest are the ones who tested before they committed. They didn't waste time guessing. They invested a few weeks getting their hands dirty, and they committed with confidence. That's how smart tradesmen start. So let's put it all together. 5 questions, 1 framework, your perfect trade. Question 1, what kind of work energizes you? Troubleshooting, building, precision, or being on the move? Question number 2, where do you want to be in 10 years? A business owner, project leader, niche specialist, or stable union career? Question number 3, what's actually hiring in your area? Check the union halls, community colleges, NCCER Career Starter. Question 4, can your body do this at 50? Factor in physical sustainability and plan your career arc accordingly. Question 5, can you test it before you commit? Get your hands dirty first. Talk to the guys who've done it for 20 years, then commit with confidence. 5 questions, that's it. Most people don't ask any of them. They just chase a salary number and hope it all works out. But the guys who build 30-year careers, hit 6 figures, and own their own businesses, they ask these questions first. And now you can too. If I had to start over today knowing everything I know after 30 years as a union carpenter, project manager, and UAW inspector, I wouldn't pick a trade by salary, I'd pick it by fit. I'd ask myself what kind of work energizes me, where I want to be in 10 years, and what's hiring near me, and whether my body can handle it long term and whether I can test it before I commit. 5 questions, that's the framework that separates the guys who build careers from the guys who just have jobs. So imagine being 1 year from now, locked into the right trade, in the right apprenticeship, and building the right skills, while the guys who just picked the highest number on the salary list are already wondering if they made a mistake or not. You didn't guess, you chose. But picking the right trade is just one step. The real question is, once you're in, how do you advance faster than anyone around you? I break all that down here on JV Charles TV, so check out the 2 videos I recommend on the end screen. I'm JV Charles, we'll see you on the next one, guys.